My dear friend, try to imagine an ordinary morning. You sit down on the familiar chair in your living room. Place your hand on the armrest and get ready to stand up. But suddenly, your legs feel heavy, no longer as flexible as before. You take a few seconds to regain your balance, sometimes needing to hold onto the table. Perhaps you think, this must be age. After all, I'm already in my 70s or 80s. I have met many patients like that. An 82-year-old gentleman I once cared for told me, "Doctor, I used to walk miles without getting tired, but now just standing up feels difficult. Perhaps this is a sign my body is slowly wasting away." Have you ever felt like that? That feeling when your body no longer obeys you as it once did, and your strength fades away year after year? However, what moved me most was his attitude. Instead of accepting weakness as a natural sentence, he asked himself, "Is there another way? Is there something I can change?" And amazingly, within just 3 months, with a small change in his daily meals, he was standing up strongly again, his arms firm once more, and even his test results looked as good as someone 30 years younger. I want you to pause and think. If someone at 82 can turn things around, then you, at 60, 65, or 70, can't you as well? We often think that protein is simply meat, fish, eggs, the familiar items on the dining table, but modern science is gradually revealing that there are other protein sources, natural, easy to find, and sometimes many times more effective than eggs in restoring and building muscle in older adults. In particular, they can activate what medicine calls muscle protein synthesis, the process of building muscle protein, which is the key for your body to still generate new strength no matter your age. You see, our body has a phenomenon that experts call anabolic resistance, meaning that after age 60, muscles no longer respond as strongly to protein as they did at 20 or 30. Put simply, the same amount of protein that quickly builds muscle when you're young has much less effect when you're old. This explains why many older people eat well, even drink milk and eat eggs daily, yet still feel weaker. But here is the good news. Some natural foods, sometimes just simple items right in your kitchen, contain a special type of protein that can awaken your muscles. Studies published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition have shown that with these foods, the muscle building response in a 70-year-old can be nearly as strong as in a 25-year-old. It may sound hard to believe, but I have seen it happen right in my own clinic. Another patient, Mrs. Linda, 74 years old, once complained that she no longer had the strength to hold her grandchild. She tried everything, drinking more milk, eating more eggs, even using supplements from the pharmacy. But nothing changed. When I introduced her to a seed-based protein, easy to find, inexpensive, she started adding it to her breakfast. 6 weeks later, she came back with sparkling eyes. "Doctor, I can hold my grandchild without my hands trembling anymore." Think about it. What greater joy could there be for a grandmother? I share these stories not to sell a product, nor to glorify one type of food. I just want you to see that sometimes strength doesn't come from complicated or expensive things. It comes from the right understanding and the smart choices we make in what we eat every day. Ask yourself, what would happen if I found a protein source that helps me not only live longer, but live healthier and stronger? Would you like your mornings to begin with a simple bowl of breakfast that nourishes your muscles, joints, and even the confidence to rise from your chair firmly? In my journey as a doctor for more than 30 years, I have learned an important lesson. Age may slow your steps, but it does not necessarily have to rob you of your strength. The problem is not the number of years, but how you nourish your body. And believe me, it is never too late to change. Today, I want to lead you to discover 6 foods, the silent friends that are even stronger than eggs in building muscle for old age. Some of the names may surprise you or even make you laugh. But when you understand how they work in the body, you'll see that sometimes what we overlook is the very key to regaining lost strength. So sit back, relax your shoulders, and let me tell you a story. This is not just about protein, but about how we preserve independence, joy, and quality of life, even after more than half a century of living. You know, when people mention protein, most immediately think of eggs, chicken, or a sizzling steak. But what I'm about to share may surprise you, because the real strength for aging muscles lies hidden in foods that seem simple, even humble. 1. Lentils, the humble friend of muscles. I remember Mr. James, 68, a former gym teacher, who came to see me in frustration. He said, "Doctor, I eat chicken and eggs every day, yet I still feel weaker." I don't understand why I asked him if he had ever tried lentils. He burst out laughing. Lentils? I thought that was just diet food for vegetarians, but I explained that 1 cup of cooked lentils contains up to 18 grams of protein. When combined with brown rice, it forms complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids, exactly the fuel muscles need. Moreover, lentils are rich in iron, magnesium, and folate, which improve blood circulation and provide steady energy. A few months later, he came back with a different expression. "Doctor, I never thought those tiny beans could help me walk faster again." You see, sometimes strength lies in the simplest things. 2. Hemp seeds. Power in tiny seeds. I had a patient named Martha, 72, who was very afraid of joint pain. She said, "I want to eat more protein, but every time I eat beef, my stomach feels uncomfortable." I introduced her to hemp seeds. Just 3 small tablespoons provide nearly 10 grams of complete protein, plus omega-3s that reduce joint inflammation and protect the heart. What's special is that hemp seeds are extremely easy to digest and don't cause bloating like red meat. Now, every morning, Martha sprinkles a small handful of hemp seeds onto her oatmeal or Greek yogurt. And she told me, "The best part is not only that I feel stronger, but also that I enjoy my breakfast more." 3. Cottage cheese, the companion of sleep. One thing I often remind patients is this: muscles don't rest while you sleep. On the contrary, when you fall asleep, your body begins to repair and rebuild, and cottage cheese is the perfect gift for that time. In one study, older adults who ate cottage cheese before bed had significantly higher levels of muscle protein synthesis compared to those who didn't. The reason is that cottage cheese contains casein, a slow-digesting protein that nourishes muscles for hours. I often suggest half a cup of cottage cheese with a sprinkle of cinnamon or a few slices of sweet peach. Simple, light on the stomach, yet it provides muscles with fuel all night long. Imagine this: instead of letting your muscles starve all night, you give them a gentle, steady stream of nutrition. The next morning, you don't just feel more awake, you feel stronger. 4. Greek yogurt, endurance for day and night. There was an elderly lady named Eleanor, 70, who told me, "I like eating yogurt, but I don't think it helps my muscles at all." When I explained that Greek yogurt contains casein, a slow-releasing protein like cottage cheese, she decided to try eating a small cup every night before bed. The result? She called me after a few weeks, excitedly saying, "I sleep better. I wake up less stiff in the morning. Doctor, I even feel my legs are lighter when I go for a walk." Greek yogurt not only nourishes muscles, but also supports gut microbiota. A healthy gut absorbs protein more effectively, which means muscles are nourished more efficiently. 5. Black beans. Astonishing simplicity. I still remember an elderly Mexican gentleman, Carlos, 75, who came in complaining that his blood sugar was fluctuating. Reviewing his diet, I noticed he ate few plants, focusing mainly on meat and eggs. I suggested he try adding black beans, a staple in his native cuisine. 1 cup of cooked black beans has 15 grams of protein and 15 grams of fiber, plus resistant starch that helps regulate blood sugar. A few months later, he came back and said, "Doctor, not only do I feel stronger, but I feel like I've gone back to my youth in my hometown." Black beans are neither fancy nor expensive, but they nourish muscles, the heart, and digestion, the three most important foundations of aging. 6. Whey protein, the key to unlocking aging muscles. Now, I want to talk about something many think is only for young gym goers: whey protein. I know it sounds unfamiliar, but this is truly the key for the body after 60. Did you know that after age 60, the body becomes less sensitive to protein, like a rusty lock? Whey protein, rich in leucine, works like a new key that fits into that lock and opens the muscle building mechanism. One study showed that just 30 grams of whey daily can help older adults build muscle almost as effectively as young people in their 20s. I've seen my patients, after just a few weeks of drinking whey with water or almond milk, become more agile, sleep better, and even think more clearly. A few extra secrets from real-world experience. There are 3 more things I always remind my patients. Eat fatty fish like salmon or sardines, which not only provide protein, but also supply omega-3s, keeping muscles flexible and joints less painful. Don't forget vitamin D. Without sunlight and vitamin D, muscles can't make full use of the protein you consume. And engage in light activity, because protein is just the raw material, while movement is the signal. If you don't move, your body won't know it needs to build muscle. You see, strength in old age doesn't come from some magic pill. It comes from simple meals and small habits: a bowl of lentils, a cup of Greek yogurt, a sprinkle of hemp seeds on oatmeal, or a glass of whey protein. All together can make your 70s or 80s healthier than you ever imagined. And now, before we finish, I want you to reflect on one question. What would happen if each of your meals was not just about being full, but about rebuilding strength, independence, and confidence in yourself? My dear friend, as we reach the end of today's journey, I want you to pause for a moment and think about yourself. Being 60, 70, or 80 does not mean we must accept weakness, trembling, or the loss of independence. Age is just a number. True strength lies in how we nourish our bodies every single day. You see, health does not always require expensive remedies or distant secrets. Sometimes it comes from the simplest things: a cheap yet nutritious bowl of lentils, a plain cup of Greek yogurt, a few tiny hemp seeds, or even a scoop of whey protein that many still think is only for the young. The difference in old age is that our bodies no longer respond as quickly as before. But that doesn't mean they give up. On the contrary, as long as you provide the right signals and the right fuel, your body can still build new strength, even in your 70s or 80s. I have witnessed this in my clinic for many years. Patients who thought their weakness was permanent suddenly revived, simply from small changes in their meals and daily habits. I want you to imagine, tomorrow morning, you step out of bed. You place your feet on the floor, stand up without needing to hold on to the chair. You take a few steps firmly, without wobbling. You feel the strength in your legs, the flexibility in your arms, and in your heart rises a new belief. I still can. That is not a distant dream. It can absolutely be reality if you start today. One of my patients once said something I will never forget. "Doctor, I don't need to live many more years. I just want the years I do live to truly be worth living." And that is exactly what I wish for you. Because eating is not just about survival. Eating is so you can continue walking in the park, lifting your grandchild in your arms, or simply opening the door yourself to step out and watch the sunrise without anyone's help. So I want to ask you one question. Tomorrow, when you sit at the table, will you choose food just to fill your stomach? Or will you choose food that nourishes your strength, confidence, and quality of life? If today's story has given you a new idea, perhaps trying a bowl of lentils, some Greek yogurt, or a glass of whey protein, then start now. Don't wait until your body is too tired to change. Love yourself now. And if you find this video helpful, I hope you share it with a loved one or a friend, because sometimes just one small reminder can change a lifetime of health. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can continue meeting, learning together more scientific, simple yet powerful tips, so that your old age is not just long, but full of vitality. Remember, old age is not the end, but a new chapter where you can choose to live slowly, wisely, yet still strong and full of energy. And sometimes that begins with just one small meal. I am Dr. Placeholder, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Wishing you health, confidence, and strength on your own journey.